Bobby Clarke is a very hard-working person.
A very creative mind.
A progressive thinker.
Bobby has great vision. Bobby will shoot a million ideas at you a day. He is a 100-mile go-getter.
If he decides that there's something that he wants to get done, it'll get done.
Working with Bobby, it's like working with your father and working with your best friend.
What makes a man is what he learns from a certain age. And I think growing up in Jamaica is what molded me to be the man I am today. Growing up in Jamaica was fun because the childhood that I had was very, very happy. So I want to thank my mom and dad for being really good parents.
He actually played table tennis for Jamaica and for Excelsior High School that he went to. And he's a very good table tennis player.
My dad is a singer. I was sent to school because, and fed because he could sing. God gave him a talent to sing, and he was a singer on the North Coast. So he's a cabaret singer. So he had his lapel and he had his suit, and I think it's Winston Clarke, one of the best cabaret singers out of Jamaica. I was a rebellious teenager, and my dad had jobs lined up after high school. I was going to go to UA, but most of my friends were leaving to go to college in America, and I just didn't want to stay in Jamaica. I just thought it was non-progressive, and I was going to be held back by a third world country, and I could be doing so much more and so much world to see, and I should have stayed. If you ask me, I honestly, one of my, again, I guess the questions I have about my life is, what would have happened if I stayed? And half my friends who stayed did very well. They're doing very well. They have wonderful lives and they live a stress-free life. Look at me now. I'm great because of America. My brother, Dane, bought me my airline ticket. And I went to live with I told my auntie in Florida I was coming to stay with her. And she thought for a day or two or for a week. I was 16, 17, just left high school, I came up, and I realized that life was hard. Life was really hard. I used to have to work day and night. Before leaving out of uptown Jamaica, from Norbrook straight to, it was, life-changing moment. But I was determined, and I was determined never to look back. So I stayed at Jumbo's. I fried shrimp all night. I flipped burgers if I had to. I earned my own money. I went to school in Florida. I got frustrated with the feeling of non-progression. It was just non-progressive. I didn't think I was. After a year, I was still just doing a dead-end job, peeling shrimp and Jumbos, and I thought, well, I'm way too young to be, a career cook. I said, you know what? Enough of Florida. I can't deal with the environment. I don't like the way my life was progressing. So I came to New York. I said, Grandma, I'm coming to New York because I want to come live with you. And she said, okay, Bobby, come man, no problem. Of course, when I got here, she was like, oh, okay, you're sleeping in that cot right there, so that cot is yours. But you know what? It was a house full of cousins and a house full of family, and there was a lot of love in the house, and you know everybody's business. Because Michael would come home with a girl, and then the girl would have to sneak her in to the back door. It was well, I'm just saying, it was a fun house. But from there, I learned who I was. I found my soul and what I wanted to do, and that drive from Jamaica never stopped. Where I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to go to school, and I wanted to make sure that I succeed, and I show not my father but my family that I will be okay and I will survive without them.
I met Bobby back at when Bobby was a bartender at Zamaka.
I used to bartend in Zamaka for a long time. I was underage at the time. I was too young to bartend. I wasn't 18 at 18 yet. They were older. I was younger, but they didn't know I was young. They thought I was their age, but I was never their age. So now they're older. Gosh, you know, they were older. But so now that I'm older, they're way older. Shoot. At nights I'd be at the bar, and in the mornings I'd be in college. And it was crazy. So I didn't sleep much. Didn't sleep at all. So I'd be studying at the bar, and you know, people would come and ask me questions about my test while I'm pouring them liquor. So I went from bartender to chef to cook. I ended up managing the place in the last. I was a manager. I tried to own it, but they sold it, so I couldn't own it.
In college at the time, and most of our colleagues were partying and more involved with the party scene and that kind of thing. And he was always ahead of the innovative curve as far as trying to push ahead and get something going. And that one really stands out.
Just like in Miami, I felt like I was not being challenged enough, and it wasn't fulfilling, and I didn't want to be a bartender all my life, or a manager or a club all my life. So I think that's when I realized that I really can't work for anybody.
We have a saying, and I'm not sure if Chris is the one that started or Bobby, but when I came, it was here, and we'd always say, your heart have to clean for Irish.
What I heard on the radio was not representative of true Caribbean radio, and it wasn't even speaking directly to the population. It was just there, and being from Jamaica, where I think the radio standard is remarkably high, I was ashamed.
No disrespect to any other radio entity in the New York tri-state area, but for the most part, Irish Jam Radio just had a very fresh, progressive approach to Caribbean radio, and without a doubt, I do believe that we raised the bar as far as Caribbean programming in the tri-state area.
I decided to start radio, but after listening to radio here, I said the reason to start radio is to get authentic radio from Jamaica, straight here, without diluting it.
When we were in school, in college, at college, and Bobby spoke about doing a link to Area FM in Jamaica, a radio station in Jamaica, a direct simulcast, and it was so space age at the time, or seemed so far-fetched at the time to me. And lo and behold, we started what was called Irish Jam the Link with Area FM. Big A on Area, who's still there as a premier broadcaster there, along with Pat McKay and Milford Edwards here in New York.
Milford came to the office in the travel agency to say, boy, he wants me to sponsor a radio show. This is why I'm having these thoughts. I'm like, well, God is good, because he just sent this man into my office when I was just having these thoughts about this thing. I said to him, listen, I want to carry Area FM live into New York. This was 1993. And I said, can it be done? Because I don't want to hear this anymore, the stuff I'm hearing on the radio. And he said, yeah, we can do it. We flew to Jamaica and met with Carl Young, who owns Area FM. At the time, Carl's changed now. A very abrasive Chinaman. Bad word, chain smoking, bad word. And Area FM don't need America because, you know, we are reggae radio. Yeah. So it took my best negotiating to get him to say yes. I think I must at this point mention Clyde McKenzie, who was general manager at the time of Area FM, who was the buffer between Carl Young and myself, and I think who made it happen was Clyde McKenzie, because he tempered Carl down a bit.
We're now with Fame FM with Colin Hines in Jamaica on Saturdays. Direct Connect it's called.
This lady called, and she bawled. I was like, wow. Oh, she leave Jamaica now for 22 years, never been back, can't fly, no visa. And you know, she wanted to thank me for bringing Jamaica back to her. And I'm like, alright. God working mysterious ways. Because no, that to me made me find my way to whatever I want to do.
It was just Bobby and me at that time, really, as far as being in the office, and we would hit the road, try to get commercials from local people up and down White Plains Road or Garnered Road. Try to set the schedule for the commercials, and we were both doing the same thing. And I don't think any of us had a title. We were just Irie Jam Radio at the time, and we were on both WNWK, which is now sold, I think, Hispanic station, and WRTN sound. So we were between Manhattan, where we broadcast from, WNWK 105.9, and WRTN, which is now WVIP 93.5.
We did clashes with the DJs, we had artists on, we did Christmas greetings, we did greetings every night. And of course, you know, you want to call a big up your family in St. Elizabeth, and your mother and your father and your sister, you know, so. But, you know, when you get a call and the wife says send the money, come, and and then, you know, it becomes a phone call, actually. So it was a wonderful thing.
I remember the early days we used to, when there would be community events, Bobby and myself, we had this one banner that said Irie Jam Radio, the ultimate radio experience. And if, let's say there was going to be an album launch of some big artists, would run to the venue, and we'd put up our banner in a very conspicuous location. You know, I remember the people at VP Records would just shake their heads after a while when they would see us.
We've done a lot of original programming, a lot of creative programming that sometimes is good to see people actually, you know, imitate the work that we do.
All broadcasters are amongst, if not certainly the best in this market. Our anchors are DJ Roy and Chris Dubmaster, and the supporting cast is DJ Face, Andrew D, Jabba, who is here. And we have some young guns coming up in DJ Khaled B and Shawnee B.
Past broadcasters, I mean, Donna Cooper, David Radigan, who's still a part of us. Oliver Samuel is a program here. We used to, still does, if we call him. And Shinehead, Shelly Thunder. I mean, there's a host of people who contribute to Irie Jam. And I think Irie Jam, the movement, is still growing because we have a lot of ground to cover.
The community itself, we are Bajan, we are Jamaican, we are Antiguan, even the Latin community. I would put that into our whole Caribbean, you know, the whole diaspora.
We've helped a lot of different artists, you know, in the past. For instance, Richie Spice, he was already big in Jamaica, but the song Earth I Run Red, I know for sure that Irie Jam was the first one to play it and actually bring it up here and make it known.
Live streaming is definitely something that Irie Jam will continue to do. We've already started doing that for several months. As a matter of fact, I think a little over a year. But we'll definitely continue to do live streaming, and expanding on that, we'll be doing more than just radio streaming.
Irie TV is basically bringing your country to where you are.
Irie TV is a way and a means of watching the television stations from the Caribbean from your own home via the internet.
Where we can check your emails in China, Japan, the United States, you're able to access Irie TV, which is an aggregation of television programs and channels out of the Caribbean.
You have a regular cable box, you'd get a Irie TV box, and you'd hook it up to your, you know, wireless internet or your whatever internet you have in your house.
We have broadcasting programs that are on and broadcasted in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Trinidad, in the Virgin Islands, and other various places throughout the Caribbean.
One of the slogans that we looked at for IRI TV was One Caribbean, meaning we're privy to information coming out of the region.
When Erwin Clarke came and started the whole team Jamaica Bickle, which was based on, it started on based on just really getting the athletes food, so when they come here for pen relays, they can have a good meal somewhere to stay. Erwin approached Bobby and said, you know, the athletes are coming to America. They're staying in these motels, not hotels. They need to be eating the right foods. They're eating McDonald's and stuff like that. So what Bobby and Erwin, and not just IRI Jam, you know, other radio programs came together and started to, of course, promote Team Jamaica Bickle. Using the airways to get the word out there motivates people. And then people started to pledge money, and you know, when the athletes come here now for pen relay, you know, I mean, I'm not saying they're staying in a 5-star hotel, but they're probably staying in a 3 or 4, you know, and they're eating ackee for breakfast, and then fried dumpling and what they're used to.
One of the things that we're lucky to be involved with is the Reebok Grand Prix, which is a premier track meet here in New York. It's one of only 2 internationally sanctioned by the IAAF track and field body events in the United States, the other one being the Prefontaine meet in Eugene, Oregon.
Before Usain Bolt broke the record at the Olympics, he broke it at the Reebok Grand Prix.
We're the official Caribbean media partners with Global Athletics and the Reebok who do that event. We're also somewhat involved with the Melrose Games, which is a 100-year-old game, the winter game, which comes up in February at the Madison Square Garden.
Hurricane Katrina, we had a radiothon where this station raised $45,000, and we had another company, whatever we raised, we had a company match it. So it ended up that we raised about $90,000. We can motivate people to respond in time of need, not just to Jamaicans, because I mean we're Jamaican first, but we're people. So if it's in Haiti, we'll come on board and we'll call a Wycliffe who you know is from Haiti and people can relate to, and we'll say, Wycliffe, we're doing something for Haiti. We need you to come, and we'll be the voice, but we need you to be the face.
Every year, Labor Day Sunday, that's the Sunday before the big Labor Day parade here in New York City, we do something called IRI Jamboree.
Our motto, the people, the music, the vibes.
It's become a unifying event where everybody gets together. I'm very happy when you look out in the audience and you see people from all over the place.
IRI Jamboree is a must every Labor Day Sunday, right here in New York City. IRI Jamboree, if you don't know, ask somebody. It's the place to be.
Turnout, we had at least 30 to 40,000 people last year.
We also have our Yam Jam, which we took upon ourselves, and we've expanded it every year. It's gotten bigger. We've added things there. We've added our little kiddies village. This past year, Oliver Samuels, Byron Lee and the Dragonaires, and Third World.
We have different foods from different cultures and different restaurants to come, and they cook all kinds of different dishes, and you know, of course, yam and this and that, and it's a fun event. It's a family event.
We throw our Christmas party every year, and we do little events, you know, throughout the year. We did Shabba Ranks this past year. That was for DJ Roy and Bobby's birthday. We had Shabba.
Every last Friday, I think we have a flashback Friday where we do old school, you know, retro 80s, 90s. The celebrity soccer match, which is around Memorial Day weekend, and it's a charity event and it's a celebrity event. You know, we usually do the celebrities from Jamaica, the reggae artists and dancer artists versus the radio personalities and the DJs in New York.
By the way, we hold the trophy this year. We have defeated the artists. We won. So that trophy is sitting in the office.
The challenge for us is, or continues to be, the fact that we're in such a clustered market where frequencies just aren't available. And usually the large corporations, the NSAs and all these big corporations have all the radio stations. And what happens in the event that a station comes up for grabs, the big guys just talk to each other. I'll probably need one, Clear Vision will probably need a channel in California. Somebody else would probably need another channel in New York, so they just switch, or they work out something between themselves. And yes, there are minority programs which try to cater to minority-owned radio stations, but we've just not been able to do it collectively, acquire our own radio station. But it is our ultimate goal. The spiritual people that we are, I'm sure when God decides that it's our time to acquire that, for not only for ourselves but for our community at large, then we'll have it.
I know there's a lot of licensing issues and things that are taking place, and you have to be careful because, you know, then there's cutting out commercials, and there's watching the content, the programming content, which may be saying things, you know, which maybe IRA TV is very difficult. It is. So it's taken us some time. This is something that's been in the works for years, even before we finally premiered it. And yeah, it's coming along. It's hard. Radio is one thing, but television is a whole other monster.
You have people who, believe it or not, they try to pull you down, they try to drag you down, and I think what we've done more than anything else is whenever we're challenged in any way, I think we always tend to step up our game and become more focused, even more focused than we already are.
Having a girlfriend, being a radio personality, a DJ, and that can be challenging at times. I'm sure everybody has experienced that. It takes a lot of our time. A lot of focus is on you, so it can strain relationships at times. Sometimes we're here in meetings up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're all here. I've seen everybody's phone ring and get these little checkup phone calls every once in a while, but we're honestly here just trying to do business, raising the money, trying to keep up with the competition or stay ahead of the competition. The events, several times, even just the staging of Irie Jamboree, the Parks Commission, the city, they'll just change the rules on us, and then we'll have to comply to a whole different set of of demands that they have. So then it's a whole different set of money that we have to come up with and pay for, in order to make the show go on.
Bobby's received so many awards. You'd have to go in his office and just take them up one by one. And he's very modest.
He's a recipient of and well-deserved of numerous awards. Well, some of them jointly with myself and other parents for Irie Jamboree. Indeed, for Irie Jam Radio, just as a business person in these parts, he's gotten countless awards from political figures and officials from his school, alma mater, Alumni Association Excelsior.
Radio Personalities of the Year, Club DJs of the Year, Best Mobile DJs of the Year.
IRAWMA, IRAWMA Award. We won that for the best show, which was Irie Jamboree.
We received awards for outstanding community service.
You do what you love, and you do what you love with all your heart, because that's what God says to do. I don't have another option. I can't sell cars, and I'm not good at anything else. I'm good at serving the community here, and I have a college degree, and I can go find a job. But heavens knows, America, job, hard, very hard.